Morning. This time on Down the Rabbit Hole with Hunter Family Farms, we're going to be on our part 2 about chickens. Specifically, this time we're going to be talking about the outputs and input requirements for chickens so that you can get the best product and get the most out of these wonderful and glorious birds. To better help you visualize the differences between the birds and the breeds, we wanted to take a moment to talk about the products they produce. Specifically, in this case, meat. Now both of these birds were raised on our property. They were fed about the same thing, and they were given almost completely equal access to grass and to grain, as well as bugs and insects. The meat breed here was kept inside a tractor and was moved every single day, so had all those accesses, whereas many of our laying roosters, we allow them open access and free range. Regardless, you can see the visceral and visual difference between the two. This meat breed, Cornish Cross, dressed out, it's about 11 pound bird with very large breasts as well as thighs and legs. And our laying rooster breed right here, I couldn't tell you which type it was or breed specifically because we butchered about a dozen birds last week. Way too many roosters on our property. But you can easily tell that there's less breast, less of just about everything, with this particular bird dressed out weighing about 4 pounds. This is the visual difference between a meat breed and a laying breed when processed. Let's talk about eggs for a moment. Now, eggs production is one of the two reasons most people raise chickens. And for us, we've steered away, obviously, from a lot of the conventional thinking, which says stick with a specific breed or color or size, whether it's white or brown or large or whatever. Instead, we go with what we call the farm store flock model, which is every time the chicks at the farm store get to about $1, we buy half a dozen and we bring them into our flock. And that's led to us having not only chickens, but also eggs of various colors and sizes, provided a dynamic visual appearance. But because our birds also get access to grass and insects, as well as quality feed, they all taste delicious and are nutritious. So for housing, we got about 4 or 5 different options. This one right here is a tractor, which means that every day or so we move it onto fresh grass. We operate these from the spring to the fall, and it provides the birds opportunity to eat fresh salad, I guess you could call it, as well as scratch naturally for minerals, insects, grubs, and so forth. Tractors come in lots of different shapes and sizes. However, they serve the same purpose, which is to provide the bird the best living environment possible while providing us at the same time the best output possible. Number 2 is going to be your classic chicken yard. Now, we maintain a chicken yard to keep our birds in mostly in the winter months, and then as the spring we'll thin it out and put them in tractors. But by keeping them in a yard, you get a consolidation, there's increased safety and security in the yard, and you really only have to feed in one place if you're using this method. Downsides is the chickens will eat everything inside. So once we pull all our birds out, probably in the next month, we'll end up reseeding this thing and trying to grow grass in it over the summer and spring so that they can come in and eat it in the fall. And then of course we have our classic truly free-range chickens, which means you build a small house or an enclosure where they can lay their eggs and where you can have them stand up at night. You put water inside, you throw them a little grain here and there, but otherwise they're running around and they're eating grass and bugs and being free to go about and do what they want and live their extremely omnivorous life. Thank you for joining us this week as we covered the inputs and outputs about chickens and raising them on your holding or homestead. We hope you'll join us next week as we discuss the pros and cons, broader pros and cons that is, about these lovely birds, as well as some of the unique behaviors or characteristics that make them so valuable to you, but also maybe taken into consideration when you decide on how you're going to implement chickens on your place or plan. Until then, keep your eyes open and stay curious. This has been Down the Rabbit Hole with 100 Family Farms.